Their bare skin. I've seen children intentionally suffocated by their own parents because they were too loud. I've seen spiral fractures and femurs of babies, toddlers covered in human bite marks, child drown and stuffed in a freezer, and unspeakable acts of sexual abuse on children. I say that because I want the defendants to understand that what they did to these children is just as horrific as all of the things that I just named. And while they don't bear physical scars, it is exactly right what said and the state said, that they will bear the psychological scars of what was done to them by you, Jeanne Whitefeather, and you, Donald Lantz, for the rest of their lives. For the rest of their lives, they will fight feelings of self-worth. They will struggle to develop relationships. They will doubt themselves in situations. They all said today that they're still afraid of what will happen to them if they upset someone. You did all of that to them at a time of their lives when they were supposed to feel safe, protected, nurtured, loved. And I'll be specific about you chose to adopt all of these children, including him. And when he had psychological episodes or mental illness that he didn't ask for, you, Donald Lantz, did this to him. And you have the gall to stand there and tell them all you love them today. That's not love, sir. Instead, what you did was torment him, make him sleep standing up, scream at him, call him names, degrade him, made him do physical labor until you mentally broke that child. And he may never, ever recover because of your actions. So while I prepared for this sentencing, I wondered, what is the good in this? It took me a long time to figure it out. But the good in this is the people that took action here in the state of West Virginia. The good in this is that now these children are West Virginia's children and not your children. The good in this is that you came to this state, and it was clear to me during the trial that you came to this state doing more research on keeping your pets than educating and care for your children. You came here because you thought that the people of West Virginia would turn a blind eye to what you were doing, and that you could find a place in West Virginia isolated enough that you could continue to do this to them well into adulthood. And it stuck out to me in both of your pre-sentence reports, which I read, that you blamed the neighbors for being racists. And how dare you do that? What you thought you were going to get here was not what you found here. What you found was a state of people who will not tolerate the abuse of children of any race. Are brave and strong and beautiful children. I am impressed with how smart and kind they still are. And right, it's not because of anything you did, Miss Whitefeather, or anything that you did, Mr. Lantz. I also have to take into consideration in your sentencing the defense that both of you put on. Both of you refused to accept responsibility throughout the trial and still here today, which makes my job a lot easier. And instead of apologizing today, because you never have said you're sorry, even though, Miss Whitefeather, you say you made some mistakes, but you're not sorry for them. And Mr. Lantz, I didn't hear you apologize either when you had the opportunity. But what you did do was put on one of the most reprehensible, narcissistic defenses that I have ever seen in my years of trial work. You blamed some sending text messages that you know you sent yourself, and the jury believes you did too. You blamed your realtor in your pre-sentence report for not finding a place isolated enough for you. But I guess you should have explained to your realtor that you needed an isolated place away from people so that you could continue to abuse your children. Then maybe she would have done it. I doubt it, but maybe. You blamed throughout the trial for having mental illness that you triggered and tried to put on a defense that you came to West Virginia to get him psychological care, which is honestly laughable. Because again, what you did was more research on keeping your wallabies than figuring out how to care for. I think finally, and one of the worst things that stood out to me about your defense were all those family pictures you all put up. Here we are on a great fun vacation. And let me say this, if you abuse children and take them on a trip, they're still abused and you're still responsible for your conduct. None of that mitigates anything. You brought these children to West Virginia, a place that I know is almost heaven, and you put them in hell. This court will now put you in yours. And may God have mercy on your souls, because this court will not. Please stand.
After this recording, I have not found the rest of it. The judge sentenced this couple to a combined 275 years in prison. Donald Lantz was sentenced to 160 years, being found guilty of forced labor, human trafficking, child abuse, and neglect. His wife, Jeanne Whitefeather, convicted of the same charges plus violating her children's civil rights, was sentenced to 215 years behind bars. This was a white couple who adopted black children as workforce, as unpaid workforce, as slaves, with beatings, neglect, forced to work from dusk to dawn. It is what these kids went through is beyond understanding. And I'm glad they got to say their piece in court, these children. And I'm beyond happy that these monsters, Donald Lantz and Jeanne Whitefeather, will never, ever see life outside of the prison bars, prison walls, ever again. Thank you for listening in. Have a good one, and I will see you in the next stream or video. Bye-bye.